Hey guys, John Willis. People keep asking me about all this stuff we brought back from Blade Show, and honestly, there's shit that I've forgotten that we've even brought back, and we haven't even unpacked everything yet. We got the majority of it here, though there are some pieces we're missing, which are at the house. I just gotta go through. Like I said, we still got a suitcase of stuff we haven't even unpacked. I don't have the folder from Desert Blade Works here, and I'm missing another one of his fixed blades also. No, I've got the other fixed blade here. That's his. So we'll just kind of go in chronological order of how this started. Some of this stuff you guys have seen, some of it you haven't seen yet. The first night we met up with Josh Lee and Jade Marsh from Starling Gear, Josh Lee from Strider, at the hotel room. You guys saw that video. Prior to the show, I had seen a piece Marissa had done, Marissa Strider. I own another piece that was made with her Damascus from Blade Show, and up until then I hadn't seen anything else really made with that Damascus. So we saw a collaboration she had done with Doc Shiffer, ex-Recon dude. I don't know how they hooked up. I'd never heard of him before. I did meet him at the show. Cool dude. And this is the piece he did, and this is the piece she did, and it's kind of a brother-sister piece. And this is his design, is my understanding. This flipper is one of the flippers he does, and he does this mirror glass finish. Same metal, it's metal that she made. I guess it's out of the same batch of metal, same stock, however they do that. They actually forge, there's a video of their shop and them making the Damascus. They actually have a forge and presses, and I mean a humongous shop. Mick's got like 6,000 square feet, and I think Dwayne has like 5,000 feet of the new building, and then the rest of it's production. But like Mick said, his stuff is just completely filled, and you can see it in the video Chemo did. There's a video of them doing a knife and stuff. Anyways, you can see the difference. This is the one she did, and this is the one Doc Schiffer did. And while the blade profile is similar, they are very, very different animals. She used this pocket clip here made out of the Damascus and left some of the bark on there, which is pretty cool. And a little bit, you can see some of the rough finish on here, and she intentionally left that on there. It's very neat to just kind of extreme opposites of the two, being made of the same metal and the polish on them, just polishing it, how much color it brought out, and how he did his clip. They're pretty cool. And he's got this I don't even know what this is called on a knife, but on the top spine here, his is cut in. Just, you know, totally cool. They come in these little zippered pouches. And then I got one. I always buy the Starling Gear stuff anytime it comes out, and this is the new Starling Gear two-piece bead that Jade did, and collaboration with Strider. And they're always laser etched. These are Cerakoted and then laser etched, which is pretty cool. And then it's got the bead profile, the design of the bead on the blade there. So I got that one. And Jade has a dude, Chris Everett, I believe his name's Chris Everett, lives at Jade's house, and they always incorporate one of his sheaths into it. Jade wanted to learn how to do this stuff. Chris lives at Jade's house, and they always get him into the mix. Starling Gear is really good about that, bringing in new skill and new labor, and employing people so that they can, you know, have some of their craftsmanship in there, as well as provide, you know, a living for different artists and different skill sets. So it's pretty cool the way they do that. I actually picked up two of these just because they are hard to get. Everybody wants them, and they're just impossible to get. Anytime I see one of their older ones, before I knew about them, they were doing this for a few years, and anytime I see those things available, I always pick them up. And I always pay retail, even for a used knife. They just hold their value, and they're hard to get, and you've always got some friend or somebody that wants one of those things. They're impossible to get once they're gone. So I got two of them this time, with the idea that I'll give one to somebody as a gift eventually, probably. And then last year after SHOT Show at the Tactical Blade Invitational, Mick Strider had made a straight razor, and that was the first time I'd ever seen any of this Damascus anywhere, was on these photos that were all over Facebook. and I think there's only 100 tickets sold to the invitation. I'm not sure how the blade show, the show after shot show, the Tactical Blade Invitational in Vegas works, but it's very, very limited numbers. It's very high dollar shit. Mick made this piece, auctioned it off. Brady ended up with it from Monkey Edge, and he was asking, I think it was like $4,500. Anyways, my intention was to get this Amanda Collect straight razors, and this was the first piece of the Damascus we'd seen come out. And you can see the bark and the rough finish and shit on there in the pitting. It's pretty cool. Anyways, this came out. I tried to buy it for her birthday, and the day before I got to it, he was supposed to, I thought he'd have it at Blade Show. So I called him up, said, hey, bring that thing. He said, dude, we just sold it. I just sent it out to Chris Everett to have him make a sheath for it. It's gone. So at Blade Show, I was not able to get this. And then that's when I bought the small his and hers Marissa Strider Damascus for Amanda's birthday. Bought her a little small one that Marissa made with carbon fiber. So when we go to, after Blade Show, Brady sends me an email and says, hey, the dude that put the deposit on that thing is backed out. Anyways, I was able to get this at the USN gathering. So we now have the straight razor. It's the only one Mick ever did. He said it was such a pain in the ass to do this thing. He said he will never do one again. He said it's literally, he could make 6 knives in the time it took to do this thing. So I was able to get that. And then whenever I do that, I also picked up, I wanted another piece that Dwayne had done. Dwayne's the other owner of Strider. And I picked this up. It's navy bronze, which is pretty cool. Dwayne's got a bunch of dive time under his belt, commercial diving, hard hat diving, saturation diving, all kinds of shit. So the the navy bronze shit has always been big with Dwayne, and I'm not sure the background of this Damascus, but it's very pretty, and this is one of Dwayne's pieces. And then Dwayne's chick makes knives also, so the last couple times I've picked up Striders, I've tried to get a piece of hers also, and I picked up this little straight edge that she did, and it's carbon fiber. I don't know if you can see the pins in here, but it's like a brass.
She said those were like handmade, right?
Yeah, it's like a brass or copper tube, and then it has some little pins all around it with a solid pin in the middle. So it's actually like 20 pieces each one of these pins. It's pretty badass. And these come in these pouches as well. I don't know who made these for Dwayne, but they've been hitting us up every time we see them. They're like, let's do some pouches again, let's do some pouches. So they want us to build something kind of like that. So we'll probably do some pouches again for Strider. And then I don't remember what they call this. It's like prosumer. It's not professional grade camera gear, but it's not, Anyways, this is a line you see a lot of the makers now doing, whereas it's partial production and then partial custom. And I don't remember what they call it. Anyways, this was one of those pieces, and it's just a little different than all the others. I got a shitload of Striders, but this had just come out, so I added that. So we've got that now. And then our buddy Hank works at Microtech. He's been there quite a while. And this is a Microtech shirt Hank hooked me up with at Blade Show. Just happened to be wearing. But Marfione, the dude that owns Microtech, I had never really spoke with him. I've just kind of seen him in passing here and there, and we've shook hands a few times. But when Hank showed me this in the video we shot, it's just totally badass. I just love the fucking colors in this thing, and it's just like a piece of artwork. And I ended up with this piece, and I'll actually carry that I'll carry all this shit, like all this Strider stuff, all these high-end folders. Like, I'll put them in my pocket, carry them for a week or two, and then trade them out in the safe. Like, I use that shit all the time. They'll end up with fucking chips and, broken tips and all kinds of shit. Mostly opening boxes, cutting banding, shit like that around the shop. But if I've got one in my pocket and something needs fucking pried on, I always end up fucking snapping one of them. So there's that piece. Beautiful piece. Hank hooked me up. I do have, this came from Hank as well. I've got a couple out the fronts that I've just gotten over the years. When I was a kid, we used to see these at the gun show, and it was the bigger ones where you click it like an M16 charging, and pull it back and then slide it forward. And they've got a different design now that they've been doing, and I've got a few of these. And Tennessee now is legal as of, like, I think it was January 1st. There's no blade length, and we can have auto knives here in Tennessee now, so that's cool. Do you remember this? I can't remember. I never can remember his name.
Eric Company.
Is it Eric?
Eric
at Ontario Knives. He grabbed me as I was walking past and said, "Man, I used to come in your shop all the time in Oceanside when I was a Marine, and I'm doing a bunch of shit with these MARSOC dudes, and we're trying to get this. We're doing a bunch of these production type knives that MARSOC's actually issuing, and I want to hook you up with one." And then he found out the kids were there. And every time one of my kids would walk back to the booth, they'd have an Ontario knife. Like, he hooked everyone in my family and all of my crew that was there. He hooked us all up with different Ontario knives. And, man, I just want to say thank you. I appreciate it. And I know we go back probably 20 years now doing shit out of the shop when you were around Pendleton and stuff. And every time I see that dude, he just makes it a point to stop and talk with me and give me some of his time. And I appreciate it. And that was fucking very cool. And then I got a text from Kane over at Emerson that said, "Hey, remember those Washington knives? Ernie had put 4 of these away, the best, like cream of the crop. He put them away and just kept them for himself. And like last day of the show, that morning at breakfast, I get a text from Kane that says, 'Hey, Ernie just handed me 4 of these things. Do you want them?' And we ended up getting 2 of them. And he said, 'What numbers do you want?' I said, 'Give me the 2 lowest numbers.' So that's where these are. And one of these actually belongs to Reed from TAC Response. So that's fucking badass. And that's actually from the property, George Washington. I don't know if it's property he owned or he grew up on, but it's an actual museum, the property there, and the tree was struck by lightning, and somebody who was a caretaker there got a piece of this and somehow was a fan or knew Ernie Emerson and said, 'Hey, do you want a branch of this to make handles out of?' So Emerson designed that knife around that handle and had the coin made and everything in inset, and those are fucking pretty cool. I don't have the other Desert Blade Works, but when I walked back to the booth, we were basically at Strider's booth hanging out. We didn't set up for USN. We do have a booth already purchased for next year. We'll be at USN at the Gathering. We have a Blade Show booth also. We got a 10x40 booth at Blade Show. But when I walked back, Marissa was standing there talking to this little kid, and this other kid, he's 17, and I said, "Hey, who are those kids?" And she had a bunch of knives. They just kept pulling knives out of their pocket. I said, "Who are these kids? Like, those look like fucking expensive knives." She said that they made those knives. So I was talking to this dude in the Desert Blade Works, and he said, "Hey, this folder is on open auction." I said, "What's it at?" And he said, $350. And the knife is worth way more than $350. Like, if it was a big name maker, that would be a $2,000 knife. I said, "Dude, I'll give you $1,000 for it right now." He's like, "Really?" I said, "Yeah, but let's do this. Like, let's just write the bid on there at $1,000. I'll walk over there and see if it goes up." So we did, and he texted the dude who had the bid at $350 and said, "Hey, the bid is up to $1,000 now. Just giving you a heads up if you want to come back and bid on it or whatever." And the kid's, he's LDS Mormon kid, very, very polite, very well mannered. His parents I'm sure they are very, very proud of him. Like, he is a model fucking kid. Like, and that's why I didn't cuss in the video. And it wasn't because he would be offended by it. I just didn't want to put him in a position where somebody at his church would be upset. You know, I'm foul mouthed, and I just didn't want to have him have to answer for that. So I didn't. I definitely toned it down when we shot his video, and out of respect for his family, and the church is important to him. And he said he's going to go on a mission, 2-year mission when he graduates high school. He's using his senior project to go to Blade Show and set up. So we'll definitely see him at Blade Show. But the kid's just his talent is awesome. His mindset is fucking incredible. And he's going to go places. And I was out of cash. I said, "Can you take a debit card?" And he said, "Yeah, I can run Square." He'd never run a Square transfer before. It took him a while to get it. He got it worked out. And Eli liked the blade he had. He wanted to use one of the guy's blades for skinning out hogs. Eli does a bunch of pig hunting and stuff, and I liked this one, and Cody liked this one. So we picked up 3 straight edges, all carbon fiber handles. He works, he called, I don't remember the name of the company he was set up there with. He just had a corner of a table, and this dude makes this Damascus. He's pretty famous for making Damascus, and the guy said, hey, this kid just called me on the phone one day and said, can I come down there and learn how to make Damascus? So the kid shows up, starts making Damascus, starts making some knives, and I believe that knife that I bought was the first one he had sold. There was another one, which he kept, and there was a fixed blade that he kept, but out of 4 that were for sale, we bought 3 of the fixed blades, and I did buy the only folder he's ever sold. So we have those. They're awesome. We're going to use the shit out of them. You'll see them in some videos. Eli will fucking be cutting up all kinds of pigs with that thing that he has. And that's what we got. I got 2 kitchen knives also, which we did a video on. We'll put that up. Do you remember that dude's name? We have it. I'm sorry, man. I don't remember your name. Dude, his shop is right by Strider Knife Shop. He apprenticed under Dwayne for a few years. And talking to him, I said, dude, were you around Dwayne a long time? He said, yeah, I was in Dwayne's shop.
1 minute left on the thing.
I was in Dwayne's shop for like 5 years. I said, man, I can totally see Dwayne in you, your inflection and the way you talk. Anyways, we have his blades. He was set up with Ryan from Blue Line Gear. And we have a full video we'll put up on those kitchen knives. And they just got left at the house, so I don't have them here. So that's what we brought back from USN with us. There's a ton of other production stuff guys hooked us up with and everything. Tons of swag. Look for Patrick from Tad Gear. What's the name of their new company?
Prometheus.
Prometheus Design Group. They got some fucking awesome stuff. Check them out. And Colin's got a video on them also. And we'll see some collaborations with us and them. We're out of video card on this thing, so we're going to cut this off right here. I'm John, Special Operations Equipment. This is some of the stuff we brought back from the USN Gathering Show with us. Thanks, guys.